What time is it, my creatives? That's right, it's photo hacking time. And this is Charlotte Salcedo, your host, and we are in our 5th series in our Bling It On Styles tutorials. There's going to be 13 of them. So this is the 5th one, how to paint aesthetic bling glitter on images in Photoshop. So if you don't know what that is, in this cover photo, as you can see, we've painted glitter over her hoodie. So that is exactly what we're going to do. Now I'm going to focus primarily on Instagram sizes because they're small and I need to up my Instagram game. So what better way to kill two birds with one stone? So I'm going to create a new custom 1080 by 1080 at 150 ppi or dots per inch, whatever. And then just click on the lock layer to unlock it. And I already have gathered some images. I'm not going to use that one. I don't like that one. I already used that one in another video. I'm going to just press Control A, Control C. As you can see, I already did this one in another video. So I'm just going to close this out. And then I'm going to press Control V to paste this here. And basically want to get this somewhat not centered, and I'm just going to pop these images in here, and I'm going to extend this image because it's not long enough. So I'm going to go to Edit, Content Aware Scale. I'm going to press the Shift key down and just drag it over. This isn't part of the tutorial. I'm just, you know, kind of getting these images situated for so we can go ahead and do the glitter effect. So all right, so I just use the clone stamp tool. I press Alt to sample and then stamped. All right, I don't like this color, so I'm gonna change it. So I'm gonna just do a quick hue and saturation. All right, I think I'll go with a bright pink. That looks good. I like pink. And let's see, I can take the saturation down a little bit, and I don't know. Okay, that's good enough. And then I'm going to go to image adjustments, and I'm going to replace this color. No, whoops. I have to select it to affect it. So I'm going to merge this down, and then I'm going to go to image adjustments and then replace this color with a different color because I don't like that color. Press OK, and then just turn the fuzziness up. I want it to be a little bit of a lighter pink. Okay, and then I'm going to go into image, levels, adjustments, just trying to get this picture where I want it because I hate the color yellow. So, all right, so I'm going to unlock this picture, and we're just going to stack these on layers because we're going to do each picture in this series. We're going to do like 3 different pictures. So I'm going to put them on their own layers, and I'm just dragging them up here, and we could fix this picture later. Actually, we could fix it now. I'm going to duplicate this layer, and then I'm going to put hard mix, and I am going to put a no, that's too high. I'm going to do a 3, and then I'm going to merge down, and then I'm going to duplicate that layer, filter, no, I need filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then put it about 7, and there we go. So it's going to be on lighten blend mode, and then I'm going to merge that down. So that's going to give it that like cool aesthetic-y effect or whatever. Okay, so we have that one. We're going to close that one out. And then I'm going to do this one too. Control A, Control C, and then Control V. I'm going to paste that in there. I'm going to press Control T to just kind of like take the image size down. And then I'm going to press Control O or Control minus. And just so I can see where that is. And I'm just going to kind of like eyeball-y it. And then press enter. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did before to kind of like extend that picture. Hopefully it doesn't look too janky. And edit, content aware scale, and then press shift and drag it out. Well, I guess that's as far as it will go without it looking weird. Press Control D, and then let's try to do that again. See if it'll stretch out. Edit, content aware scale. Stretch it out a little bit more. Press enter. And I think that doesn't, I think that's as far as it would stretch. I don't know. All right. So we are just going to have to controls, I don't know. Let's try to do it on the other side. Yeah, I didn't think of that. So let's try this side, try to stretch it out. We just need a little bit more. So edit, content. No, whoopsies. No, I hit the wrong thing. Edit, content aware scale. And then just shift and drag it out. Okay. So the weird thing about Instagram is that you have to fit these pictures in these weird little squares, and you will find that a lot of your pictures will not fit. Okay. So we have these 3 images here, and I'm just going to click on this one, and I am going to try to select the dark areas of this with the quick selection tool. And I think for the most part it will let me, but for whatever else that we don't select, we can just paint it on. That way we don't have to waste time painting. I'm going to press Control C and then create a new layer by clicking the plus sign and then press Control V. And then I'm going to add my little style here. Now I'm going to increase the size of it by going to pattern overlay and then bumping this up to 25, so it gives it a more robust look. So now I'm going to get my Wacom pen and my stylus out, and I'm going to select the brush, and on that same little mask layer here, I'm going to go to a hard round pressure size brush, and then I'm going to hit the left bracket key to make it like tinier. And then I'm going to zoom in so I can paint over this area. Okay. And I'm going to turn up my opacity, of course, and my flow. And we're just going to paint in this area. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. It's a little somewhat, whatever. And then just do the cat ears, just trace right on over it. If you have a mouse, this is going to be so hard to do. But if you have, you know, a Wacom stylus, and then you can do the like little strands of hair if you want, but that's kind of like optional. But I'm just going to go ahead and do it for fuck's sake. There we go. All right. And so I'm just going to kind of get these edges that didn't really go through the first time around when we selected that. So you can just, it's like kind of like coloring, guys. That's all it is. We're like coloring in, you know, and just get these kind of edges here. All right. So of course you can leave it like this. We're just going to darken that up here. But if you want to create a really interesting effect, I'm going to duplicate this layer. So we have the original in case we mess up. We're going to turn this off. And then we are going to rasterize this layer. And it doesn't look like much, but you have to put a blend mode on it. So you can play around with these blend modes to see which one you particularly like the most. And whichever floats your boat, really. You could totally keep it like this, or you could, you know, do some different effects to it. So what you're going to want to do is go over here, click on color overlay, and select lighter color and choose this color here and press OK. And we're going to turn that layer back on. And we are going to duplicate this layer, turn it off, and we're going, turn this one off. Rasterize this one. And you can leave it like that, or you can change the blend mode to something else to make it more, I don't know, aesthetic-y. So I'm going to change this one to, where is it? Darker color. Okay. And then I'm going to double click in here. And then I'm going to press the Alt key. And then I'm going to drag the dark so you can't see the darks anymore. And so it has that sparkly, shadowy effect. You can turn that on or off or whatever. So, and then what you could do is you could like drag out a copy of this and create like another dimension, but I mean, you don't have to do that, but, yeah. And see, you can create like a drop shadow effect from the shadow, and then, just mess around here with some of the, there we go. Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm looking for. Just like a shadow. And I'm gonna put that on darker color. I don't want it to be so big, and I don't want the distance. So just kind of play around to like what you're aiming for. And there, that's kind of like what I'm aiming for. And you can drag it around if need be. All right, so now that we're done with that, we can add the sparkles on top. So just create a new layer, drag it to the top, and then we're just gonna get the sparkle brushes. And I'm in legacy brushes right now, so I'm gonna grab this one and press the left bracket key to make them smaller and bigger. Oops. And we want to choose white, so just flip the arrow there so we can, and you're just going to go in and out. Just make it bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller. And make some tiny ones too. Put some on the flower here. This makes a really cool effect. And I saw this effect on Pinterest with the shadow, but it was a little bit different. So, I mean, I'm gonna create some on the ends here so you can get different variations here. I'm gonna just make that a little tinier. Okay. So little sparkles everywhere. And that is so much fun, right? So now you have your sparkle shadow here, and I just want to show you my inspiration for that. So, I mean, this is not as attractive, but I mean, that's kind of like where I got that. If you want to make this darker, you can do it. Just come here and duplicate the layer if you don't think that's like dark enough. And you can also play with the blending modes to change some of the dimensions here. I don't know. You can make it more sparkly, like white ice sparkly. Or you can make it more rainbowish effect. So I'm going to put the hue on it. I'm going to double click on here and drag it out a little bit more. Lower the opacity. And so that's it. So that is the picture, and I'm just going to convert this all to a smart object. So it's like one picture now. Whoops. No, I got to put the sparkles in there too. Convert to smart object. So now this is all one picture, and I don't think we need that background, so I'm just going to delete it. So now we can work with this picture. So this is going to be so much more easier. So I think I'm just going to do the tops on this one and just like do some spaghetti straps. So I'm going to get my brush out. I'm going to create a new layer, and I am going to choose this one. Whoops. I'm going to go to pattern, select the FX button here, and then I'm going to go to the pattern overlay, and I'm going to select 50 and then press OK. And I have the wrong kind of brush, so I'm going to go in here and grab me just a regular old brush. I'm going to go up here to the hard brown pressure size. All right. And then I'm going to get my Wacom, and it's basically like coloring, guys. We're going to color in like the booby area. And this one, I'm not going to rasterize this one. Well, I mean, I can, but as you can see, it's really sloppy. I'm not really doing a whole lot here. And you can use the eraser tool to clean up the lines if you want. I'm just gonna go and just do this really quickly. So we're just painting over the picture with the sparkles. That's all we're really doing. I mean, it's not really that difficult. The shadow one was a little bit hard because you have to get the right lighting in there, and that's why that one was so difficult. So we've got her bikini top on now, and just make sure that you color it in really, really good to get those sparkles in there. So we're just going to rasterize that layer, and then pick a blend mode, and see you have the really, really bright sparkles. If you want to make them even brighter, you can duplicate that layer. And the more you duplicate it, the brighter the sparkles will get. And so you can continue to do this. I'm going to make little spaghetti straps for her, like in the middle. You can draw. I'm doing a different glitter this time. I'm going to use this glitter. And that looks really cool. And then I'm going to change the size on it. So I'm going to choose 50. I really choose 25. Snap to origin. And then you can also do some danglies here. So just follow the path for the shirt. And it's really not that hard. I'm not doing anything special here. It's you know? And then so now you can create a new layer and draw on her boobies. And you can pick a different bling here. I'm going to choose that one on her top. And we're just painting over her boobs. Are we allowed to say that on YouTube? I don't know. Boobs. Tetas? I don't know. What's an appropriate word for teddies? I don't think there is one. So, I mean, if you get offended, I'm sorry. It is what it is. You probably should not watch my channel if you're easily offended, because I have a slip of the lip probably like every 5 seconds. I'm surprised I haven't been canceled. All right, so that is the tatas there, and then you can rasterize that layer style and then do a blend mode on those tatas, and that looks really cool. This shirt was already like pretty spiffy to begin with, but you know, ooh, I like that. So you can add that, and then I'm gonna do a new layer here, and I'm going to add her some strappies, I guess. Oh, that's way off. Okay, I'm gonna try again. How about like a V-neck? Yeah, that's cool. And then we'll just put it there. You can do different ones. I mean, it doesn't have to be the same. I'm gonna rasterize that and then pick a blend mode. Ooh, that's really cool. I like that. Lighten. And ooh, we can make some stockings for her legs. Ooh, I like that one. Using this one. Whoops. What the heck? Okay, so I'm gonna make some stockings for this one's legs. Okay. Like, this is like, I figure that these chicks are like in the 90s, because who would wear these outfits today? I mean, if I had the body for this, I probably would. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm like, I was born in the 80s, so you know that I don't have the body for this now, so. We can only dream. Rasterize this layer. Alright, and then pick a blend mode. Oh, that's really sparkly. I like lighten, screen. Ooh. I like that one, but I think I'm going to erase part of this in the middle because it looks kind of funny. Ah, that was too much. Okay, so I'm going to bump the opacity down. And oh, I know why, because I have the freaking pencil selected. So make sure that you have like a soft round pressure opacity and not a pencil. Get the brush mode. Don't do stupid stuff like me, because then your flow is not going to show up. And I don't know why this stupid Photoshop keeps defaulting to selecting pencils. Who the hell uses pencils in Photoshop? Not me. Alright. So that looks pretty fetch. And now we can just add some sparkles on top, and that will complete our little freaking fashion 90s look. So here we go. Pow. Just gonna add some beautiful sparkles to her stockings everywhere. Ooh, bling on the ring. I'm gonna create the big ones first. Wait. Just medium size, because we don't want too many big ones. And no, that's too much. Sometimes I do too much. Ooh. This is looking really spiffy. I put a little bling on her earring. This kind of reminds me of GTA. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I was, like, inside a video game, this is how I'd want to look. Like, all, like, decked out in, like, 90s gear. This is so aesthetic. I love it. Does anybody know any good 90s songs? The one that sticks in my head is when I was like clubbing a lot. A little bit of ecstasy. A little bit of you and me. Sorry. It kind of just got away from me. Okay, so that looks really freaking cool. That's like a really cool Instagram post. So now, once you're all done with it, you can just convert it into a smart object and you can save it out, you know, for the web. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to do this one. And this one's a little tricky because it's in black and white, but have no fear. Charlotte's here. Now, I was thinking that we could put the glitter on the roses, or you could do it on her body. But I think it would be really cool to put it on her body. So I'm going to create a new layer. And then I'm going to get a glitter. I'm just going to do, whoops, I need to get the right brush. I'm always with the wrong brush, aren't I? Because I always do the sparkle afterwards. I don't want to get the soft. I need the hard. I need me the hard brush. Hard pressure round size. Okay, I'm just going to rasterize this to see how it looks. I'm just going to do a patch. See how this looks. So I know that I'm going to pick the right one. Okay, rasterized layer style. Okay, that is perfect. So I'm going to use this one. This seems to be really good. I'm just going to delete that and create a new layer. And then we're going to just go ahead and go ham and just color her whole body and this glitter. And it doesn't have to be perfect because just make sure you just get the outlines of her body. And we're just coloring. It does not have to be perfect, okay? It just really doesn't. Because we're going to fix stuff in the end once we rasterize, because we really can't see what's going on here until we rasterize it. Now, you could leave her body like this if you wanted to. I mean, you really could if you wanted to just leave it with this glitter and then just put sparkles on it. I mean, that's totally up to you. But you wouldn't be able to see the visibility of her shape of her body. It would just be a big glitter glob, which is why I like to do what I do. You know what I mean? And don't worry, any parts that don't look right, we can erase them afterwards. But I'm just doing a very sloppy coloring mess. As you can see, this is not in any way hard to do. I mean, anybody can freaking color. You can do this. Okay, you can do this. I'm telling you, you can do this. All right. So I got a little bit in her hair and I'm just going to erase that away. Some people should say I should do a layer mask and I should tell them to fuck off. But anyways. All right. So just click a rasterized layer and then you can pick a screen mode here. There we go. That's the one, the pen light. Okay, that looks really, really, really cool. Now, you can duplicate this layer to give it a brighter effect. See if we can come up with like multiple. So I like that. Sometimes it will help darken it. And then you can press the Alt and double, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Go back to the regular size. Okay. With the Alt key pressed, you're going to just drag that, and that's going to take away any of the dark underlying glitter, so it gives it more of a transparent look, as you can see there. The only thing that I'm not liking is that she's got a little glitter booger in her nose. So I'm going to bump up my eraser, and I'm just going to delete that little She's got a little cocaine booker. And it's not erasing, so it must be on this layer. Okay. So, yeah. So that's looking really, really cool. And now all we have to do is put some sparkles. And I'm just gonna convert these two to let's see if I can convert them to a smart object. And no, it's not gonna work. Okay. I'm gonna press Control Z. Edit, undo, convert smart object. Sometimes the smart objects are not going to work with this effect. So you're just going to have to erase what you don't like on both layers for now. I know that sucks, but it is what it is. All right. So that's looking pretty good. And I just want to turn down this fill layer a little bit because it's a little bit too dark in her face. And I am going to put the sparkles now. So I'm going to get the sparkle brush, and you can just choose whatever you want. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to my sparkles. I just randomly pick, you know? So to get the little sparkles, sometimes you can double click in areas where it needs to be brighter, and I'm just making the brush bigger and smaller, and you know, so just clicking everywhere where I want little glitters. We could put them on the flowers too. I'm gonna just put this over there and just kind of create some glittery sparkles on the flowers too in places to just kind of give it like an aesthetic look. I don't know. I'm gonna create another brush so it doesn't look too the same, and I'm going to just lower the brush here. Just making all these little sparkles everywhere. Click, 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 click. All right, so I mean, that looks pretty cool. And then I wanted to do something, I wanted to create like a glow blur effect on some of these flowers. So I'm going to try to see if I can accomplish that. I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I collect filter, blur, and motion blur. Okay. Yes. And then I'm going to create a layer mask there. I'm going to get the black. And wherever there is not a rose, I'm going to put a mask over it. So it just creates that like illusion that only the roses are blurred. And I'm looking for my brush that I can never find. Okay, so. And there. So you want to, if you don't have it selected correctly, you're going to want to click this arrow key, which is going to give you the, oops. We're only painting over the leaves, some of the leaves, not all of the leaves. Because we just want the roses to be blurry to give it that like really aesthetic look. And I noticed that her face, you can see like the lines here. So I'm going to just go back in here, and I'm going to lower the opacity, and I'm going to lower the flow, and I'm going to like go over some of this glitter on her face so it doesn't look like just like a straight line there, because that bothers me. Yeah. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more glitter up there in a different tone. So There. And then I'm going to rasterize. Well, I can just delete that. Whoops. Not paint it. Delete it. Erase it, I mean. Alright. So that's looking a little bit better. Oh, that's even a word. So what do you guys think about that? Does this look really cool? And I'm using the first texture, by the way, to paint on more glitter in places that just aren't there, which you can do. So wherever you need transparency, and then, whoops, in some of the darker areas, it's not going to look right. But some of these, you can get the glitter where you need it, like on her neck. And then I'm just going to delete where it didn't go so well. So this is all a process, you know? And I think that looks pretty good for the most part. You can leave it as it is, or you can rasterize it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rasterize it to give it a more sparkly effect. And that's it. So now you can select all these layers, and hopefully you can convert this into a smart object without it being weird. Okay, and so now you can save these all out to Instagram, and you have like this really cool aesthetic painted over effect, and that's how you create this effect. So thanks guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that this video was so long, but I wanted to show you how to do this on a variation of different photos. And then you also have the mesh, which is somewhere down in here as well. If you wanted to do the mesh, it is in here as well. And if you want more textures like this, you can also purchase the Candy Bar Textures Aesthetic Kit. And it also has more textures that you can use. And I also plan on coming out with some ones with butterflies and clouds, and just like where you can just like totally like aesthetic and collage up your Instagram photos. But thanks guys so much for watching. I really hope that you liked the Bling It On Styles Photoshop Styles Kit, and thanks so much for watching. Bye now.